Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or much depending on your location. Please join in the struggle to liberate our people from the contraption. Like and share videos, news updates. Igbo'S will rise to defend themselves again if Igbo leadership in UK and Ireland tells Tinubu in an open letter. Yes, this leadership of the Igbo in these two countries, talking about the UK and Ireland, yes, they are talking about defending themselves, talking about the Igbo'S who have been marginalized, who have been pushed to the wall in Nigeria. Said if it continues, if the attack, if the demolition, the unwanted attacks, yes, continued, the Igbo'S will rise to defend themselves. Like in those days. Yes, they will rise up to the challenge. The Igbo'S are not weaklings. Yes, they are strong people, they are brave, determined, stout, egalitarian, resilient, hardworking, and so we cannot take them for a ride. Now the group wrote a letter, an open letter, to Tinubu, saying, I read, the Igbo leadership and its cabinet in the United Kingdom and Ireland are not happy with what Igbo are passing through in Nigeria since its amalgamation in 1914. Our colonial masters merged three big nations, and since then, Igbo have been the victim, with Britain supporting the North and the West against Igbo. The first military coup of January 15, 1966 had participation of all parts of Nigeria. The reason for the coup was to free Chief Obafemi Awolowo from prison and make him president, yet it was tagged Igbo coup. The second coup in June 1966 saw the killing of General Ironsi, together with young Igbo officers. General Ironsi was on a pistol. Like a dog, he was murdered in cold blood. His killing was followed by the 1966 pogrom, where over 3 million Igbos, mainly vulnerable, were killed. The meeting held at Aburi was to find lasting peace. It was unanimously agreed that the country adopt a confederation structure in the interim. Gowon was advised against it. This led to Biafran war with UK, US, Russia, France, and Germany, spearheading the killing of Igbo. The war ended with the proclamation of no victor, no vanquished by the Gowon administration. The proclamation was a hoax. It was agreed that the Igbo land would be rebuilt, but it was not implemented. Rather, all bank savings of Igbo were converted to £20, which was equivalent of 20 naira, and the balance transferred to Nigerian posts. Indigenization and abandoned property policies were implemented to impoverish Igbo the more. After the war, Igbo were almost beggars. The Igbos were made a minority in the eastern Nigeria with two states, of Anambra and Imo. The former minority in the eastern Nigeria was given the states of Rivers, Cross River, and Akwa Ibom. The South people were made to hate the Igbos. The oil-producing areas of Igbo land were ceded to non-Igbo states. This was to the annoyance and irritation of the Igbos. During the regime of General Obasanjo, import licenses were introduced and Igbo got nothing. The licenses were given to Northerners and Yorubas. Some of them sold their licenses to Igbo because of anger. When goods imported by Igbo landed, they were seized by federal government. The FG also introduced quota system to kill merits. If Igbo students scored higher in JAMB, they won't be admitted until students from other nationalities designated as disadvantaged were admitted. That was how Igbo embraced private schools. During the current state's creation, Igbo got only 5, South-South 6, Southwest 6, and North over 20. Igbo continued with their resilience and trade. Their sources of importation at One seaport were closed in 1999. They began importing from Lagos, and the route was made impassable, coupled with exorbitant import charges. About 240 importers left Anambra for Lagos. In Lagos, Igbo legitimately bought empty lands and swampy areas and built their houses and other investments. They got approvals from government. Igbo began to leave Lagos when powers that be never allowed Igbo investments to thrive. Nigeria's foremost indigenous industries began in Igbo land, but were destroyed by the same system. That created unemployment among our youths. Hatred was created between Igbo and Niger Delta, and Igbo race became endangered species. Igbo moved to Kano, and it is the same problem. Igbo left for Abuja, and they began experiencing the same thing. Our people are suffering. They brought Boko Haram by opening borders for criminals. Our governors signed documents before winning elections so they can become stooges to oppress their brothers. In politics, Nigerians agreed that it should be the turn of the Igbo through rotational presidency, but PDP and APC never allowed it. Peter Obi emerged against all odds in the 2003 general elections. INEC ensured that votes did not count. Bola Tinubu was declared winner, and the Yoruba, because Tinubu is theirs, now pounced on Igbo in Lagos. They destroyed property of Igbo at Ladipo, Balogu, Alaba, Trade Fair, and others. They never destroyed the Igbo property in past administrations. Under Tinubu and Lagos Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, oppressive measures are being used against Igbo's in Lagos with no justification. Piqued by the deplorable and hopeless conditions of Igbo are going through in their country, Nnamdi Kanu came up as biblical Moses and canvassed that if Igbo would not get their share, allow them to go. That was how he was hunted down, and despite court rulings freeing him, FG refused. They want him dead. Igbo engaged in protest, and some of them ended up dumped at the lagoon. Peter Obi, doing the litigation to reclaim his mandate, never instigated violence. Buhari came and gave employment to his people. Tinubu is doing the same. Both believe in favoritism. Igbo are not given employment. Igbo are not complaining. What have Igbo done? If you want Igbo to leave Lagos, let FG peacefully quantify Igbo property in Lagos and settle the owners. It should not be a case of abandoned property again. Stop using the federal might to fight Igbo. Let every Igbo man submit all the investments in Lagos and get compensated so they can return to Igbo peacefully. It's our plea. We are not begging. Our investments across the Federation can never be in vain. This is the last cry, or Igbo people will defend themselves again. If an Igbo man becomes president, Nigeria will become United States. But such will never be allowed. We have seen the war. We lost almost 5 million souls. If Hausa and Yoruba love Nigeria, where are their investments across the Federation? We don't want marginalization. Our youths are intelligent. Tinubu should think and stop this carnage against the Igbo. In Lagos, only Igbo properties are discriminately marked for demolition. I've stopped reading, and this is the statement of this group. Yes, they have put it succinctly to tell the world the burden of the Igbo man in this mere geographical expression, this Nigeria. So this is the point, and that is it. Tinubu have to note it. It is the open letter to him. Let all Nigerians study it. Both Hausa, Fulani, both Middle Belt, all, Ibibia, let all study it. The Middle Belters, let them study it. Yes, everyone, the Yorubas, everyone. all of those should study it deep and depth.